Hey, what's going on, y'all, man? Hope you're having a great day today. Man, I just spilled some tea on my shirt. You see it? It's all good. That's how goofy I am, though. But hey, I want to touch base with you guys on the topic, man. I was thinking about last night about the conversation about, just racism in general. And in regards into a conversation me and my friend had a few years ago, man, I was talking to him about, like, man, it's just like, because last year I did my Soul Series journey, and along that journey, I wanted to do a documentary about, finding people in low income areas and sharing Black ancestral stories while finding positives within those stories while also talking about history and all that stuff. And me and my friend's conversation got a little deeper too. I'm like, man, I was frustrated about, like, just how there's a lack of a lot of stuff in the Black community. And it was talking about how they took out Black history in Florida. I think they took it out here in Oklahoma as well. I interviewed a woman and was talking about that last year. And obviously, a lot of places, I'm like, they're trying to wipe away the history. And he Black too, but his point was, well, what if it's a good thing though that they're taking out the history, because the kids that's raising up, they're not going to be focused on the negative side of things so much. They're just going to be on a clean slate and just be the solution, because they don't have uh, a bottom, right? Or even a ceiling. There, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's almost like the flea effect, because if you put it's either flea or tick effect. Either way, if you put a ceiling on those heads and they start jumping and jumping, they realize there's a ceiling over there. Once you take the ceiling off and they try to jump, they're gonna jump as high as the ceiling once was, right? Meaning that they don't know that they actually have the freedom to jump out of the cage that they were put in, right? We have the awareness that they were put in cages, but once the cage is taken off, they're unaware that they can jump out, right? And that clean slate, give you guys an analogy. It's like being a newborn baby, right? As a newborn baby, whenever you come, make sure my mic, turn on, okay. As a newborn baby, when you come into this life, you're not, you don't come into this life a racist. You don't come into this life liking one thing or the other. You come into this life taught things from a knowing, from being around environments. You absorb information. You're a sponge, right? And racism is taught through the past, right? Because things in our past, just because it happened, just because it went the way it did, some assume that it's right or the only way. But as a newborn child coming off that clean slate, they're pure. And when they're growing up, they don't see racism. They see a human being, right? And that's not the main reason why I stopped doing my Soul Series documentary. One of the main reasons was because of the homeless. When I saw the homeless and I saw the diversity within those community, within those groups that they were all together, coming together, no matter what the color was, culture, but they're homeless. They don't have nothing, right? Well, they don't have much materialism things, right? So that's really one of the main reasons why I stopped that. But it's just the fact that when he said, what if it is a good thing that instead of focusing on the the past or the bad, the things that happen, let us all focus on the solution, right? Because we understand that it's there, cool. But instead of teaching our kids like 90% of the past so they can be able to fix the future with 10%, how about we're like, hey, listen, if you already know what happened in the past, give them 90% of the information to help catapult them outside of those chains, those barriers that the past once were in, while giving them little bits of information about the past of what happened and how to be able to overcome these obstacles that were faced in all of their ways, all of our ways, right? That you have to be able to persist, but also do something different opposed to doing the same thing that everyone else was doing. All right. Be your own individual person. Right. You can do more, you can be more, you can become more, opposed to focusing on solely just the past so we all can, understand it. We get it. But let's focus on the solution so we can empower each other. And by doing that, we're forcing each other to grow, right? Now it is a butterfly effect. It's a domino effect, right? Now we're all in that same energy of growing, becoming more. So the individual beside you, they're gonna want to become more. The person beside them, they're gonna want to become more because they're in that same environments, right? There's nothing bringing that those individuals down. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, just the fact that he told me about what if it's a good thing that they're taking out Black history in these states because we have the knowledge, like in schools at least, like that's what I mean, like in schools, we have the knowledge to be able to talk about it. But what if it's there's always duality in this world. What do we choose to see? What do we choose to focus on? Right? And I thought that was beautiful because when he said that, it really opened up my mind. I'm like, wow, I ain't never really thought of it that way. You know, into his mind a different perspective and how different we all could approach that topic, right? And it was beautiful, honestly, in my opinion. I liked it. I liked it. I loved it. But what do you guys think about that, man? Like, I understand, yes, they're taking out Black history in these schools, but it could be a good thing because now we're not focusing on the things that oppressed. Now we could empower, right? From a conscious standpoint, not solely relying on the schools to do the empowering. It comes from the communities, the parents, those households, right? We can't rely on the schools to empower these kids, right? We have to put matters into our own hands. So let me know what y'all think about that.